Sheila, how are you? I think it's Thursday. I don't know where I am today. It is time once again.
Hey, I'm great, and I'm looking forward to tonight. With having Bill and Phil on at the same time, I think that's a great idea.
Your audio was breaking up a little bit on my end, but
Really?
yeah, it seems to be good now.
Well, it better be because I have a question to ask.
Yes.
Okay. So I would like to ask this, and I'm going to let Phil and Bill answer this question at the end of the show because I have a reason for asking this question. And what would ruin a fishing trip in 4 words?
I'm not going to answer.
Oh, Mike, what would ruin a fishing show or a fishing trip in 4 words? Or less. Yeah. I'll take less.
Yep. Okay. We will answer that again here throughout the show so people know what's going on. But I think I know what would ruin my trip. We want to hear from the viewers to see what would ruin their trip.
Yeah, I know. I think that would be good. And Phil's got some great products out there, and he's even got saltwater.
Yeah, Phil. I've known Phil Hunt, PH Custom Lures. For those of you who don't know who he is, I've known him forever. He's from up there, middle Indiana. One of the best handcrafted bait makers that I know. He makes awesome topwater baits, crank baits. He's got some really crazy stuff that you kind of his own designs, and it is truly a custom bait company. We got him on for the whole show tonight, and we managed to get Billy Lowen on too. One of the best on the Elite Series out there, Bassmaster Elite Series angler. Bill Lowen won the Pickwick tournament back in March this year. Yes. And hopefully we get to talk to him a little bit about that because, that was a really challenging event that, they had. That was when we had all those floods here and the water was way up here on Douglas all through Tennessee. And it was up there. I don't know how many feet the thing came up at Pickwick Lake. And man, it was fun watching him catch them. I actually was home for a couple of days, so I got to tune in too. So pretty cool for that.
I'd like to hear a little bit about that tournament right there.
Absolutely. And, it seems like, Sheila, we were just here, not so long ago, a week or 2 weeks ago, and here we are doing another show. And we have another show coming up the end of September. So we're cranking right along here at the Outdoor Showcase. Looks like we're probably going to have 2 shows in October too, and hopefully we'll have 2 in November.
Well, we may end up having more shows here leading up to about January.
That's fine with me. But you can pretty much count on 2 for September. In fact, at the end of this show, we'll talk a little bit about the September 30th show because we do have some details on that. And then after that, you're going to have to go check out East Tennessee Fishing Show Facebook page for details and posts and stuff like that for October. But we're going to get right into this unless you got something else. You do have a question. We're going to put that question out one more time. And that is,
what would ruin a fishing trip in 4 words or less?
Okay. Put your comments in the comment section. I know what would ruin my trip. But we'll see what you guys have to answer too. We're going to get right on this. We're going to do a little intro and then we'll get Phil Hunt on and Billy on. So just a little bit of background history about his baits and what he does for you guys to check out. So I'm Mike Davisco, Sheila Bunch over there on the other side, Outdoor Showcase. We'll be back with you here in just a few minutes.
See you in a little bit.
Hi, I'm Phil with PH Custom Lures. I wanted to let you guys know that I make a full range of hand-tuned, premium crafted balsa crankbaits. We've got everything from topwater prop baits, we've got dog walkers, we've got flat baits, from tight wiggling flat baits to wide wobbling square bills. Hi, I want to give you a quick summary of the complete line of flat baits that are available at PH Custom Lures. Before I get started, I want to let you folks know that each one of these are premium handcrafted balsa, built one at a time by Americans right here in America in our shop. Also, before the baits are packaged, each and every bait is tested in a swimming pool. That way we know when you take them out of the package they run perfectly. They've got all quality components. All the components are made in America. They got needlepoint hooks. You don't have to change the hooks when you get them. And what I'd like to do is I want to start at the top and work my way down. The first bait in our lineup is a bait called a sub P. It's a flat bait, throws really good. You can see the angle of the lip is pretty steep. This bait goes about 2 feet maximum. It's really good over grass flats. If you got a lot of laydowns and stuff on flats and river systems, works really well. This is a nice bait. You can see here we've got a nice pretty foiled finish. Next in our lineup would be like our four-wheel drive of the flat baits. This bait is called a flat P. Got a real hard aggressive wobble similar to a square bill. This bait goes about 4 feet. Really good bait. I think you'd really be impressed with the way this bait comes through cover. Got a little bait here that it took about 2 years to build. This is called a peewee. This is a thinner bait. It's about a 4-foot bait also, but it gives the option of having that little bit tighter wobble. Also, it's tuned in a pool, all the same components that all of our baits have. Next in the line is what I would consider our cold water bait. This has got a real tight wobble similar to a lot of the other baits that have been built in the past. Works really well in clear water, works really well in cold water, goes about 6 feet, all hand tuned in a pool. So please, when you get a chance, check our stuff out at PH Custom Lures. Hi guys, I wanted to take just a minute to tell you about the Little Hunter made by PH Custom Lures. This is a handcrafted, premium quality balsa bait. Each bait's built one at a time in the PH Custom Lures shop. They're actually hand tuned in a tank. Every bait has been thrown in a swimming pool before you get it, so you know when you take it out of the package it runs perfectly. This is about a 3-foot bait, 0 to 3 foot, very erratic action. You can burn it, you can wind it slow, comes through cover extremely well. I think you're really going to be surprised with how this bait comes through wood and grass. It's got VMC vanadium hooks in it. They're nice quality hooks. You don't need to switch them out when you buy it. It's got a circuit board lip here in the front. That way it makes them a little more durable. You don't have to worry about broken lips. Give this bait a try. I think you're really going to like it. Hey guys, I wanted to take a minute to tell you a little bit about the PH Custom Lures Huntin' P. To start off with, this is a premium handcrafted balsa crankbait. Each bait's built one at a time, handled individually by a person. Each bait is also hand-tuned in a swimming pool before it leaves our shop. So you know when you get this bait, it's going to run right out of the package. This is kind of an all-terrain type crankbait. It was designed to come through wood, grass, whatever you throw it into, rocks. It comes through cover extremely well. It also has the erratic right and left hunting action. It's so sought after by the pros. Has a circuit board lip, which is much more durable than Lexan. You won't get the broken lips. It's available in about 30 colors. I know you're going to like it. Give it a try. Let me tell you about the PH Custom Lures Balsa Dog Walker. This is a premium handcrafted balsa topwater bait. made in America by Americans, all all American-made products. This bait's got a weight system in the back, weight system in the belly. This thing throws like a rocket. I mean, you can throw this bait 40, 50 yards. Walks a dog easy. A kid can walk the dog with it. This is probably one of the easiest walking baits on the market. Give this a try. Hi, I want to tell you about a bait from PH Custom Lures that is totally unique. I don't think anything out there like it. As far as I know, this is the only prop bait built that jumps and darts right and left. This bait, called the Crazy Ace, it's a topwater bait. You can see it's got a popper style mouth. It's also got a blade on the end, a prop on the end that spins really good. This bait will jump, walk. If you twitch it, get a cadence going, it will walk the dog like a spook. If you jerk it hard, it'll dive under a little. There's not much you can't do with this prop bait. I know it's totally unique. Give it a try. I think you're really going to be impressed with this bait.
Attention! The East Tennessee Fishing Show is back. The biggest and best fishing event in the South returns January 20th through the 23rd. Shop the largest selection of custom tackle for bass, crappie, striper, fly fishing, catfish, and more. Plus, we have added saltwater. Get the best deals of the year on new boats. Learn about the latest in fishing equipment with free seminars from top anglers. It's back. Don't miss the biggest fishing event of the year, the East Tennessee Fishing Show.
All right. Back here again, the Outdoor Showcase. Mike Del Visco here with you. And right now, we're going to get on a couple of my favorite guys that I like to hang out with anytime I'm up there in Indiana. I've known Phil Hunt for, I don't even know how many years I've known Phil for. And it seems like I see Billy like sport shows all over the place. And, we need to get to hang out a little bit more if I get up there around Ohio and Indiana and stuff like that. But I'm going to bring Phil on and Bill on here right now with us, and we're going to talk baits for the rest of the show. What's going on, guys?
How you doing, buddy?
Good.
Doing awesome.
Can you hear us all right?
We can hear you fine.
All right, good.
Perfect. Everything's looking good. It's I was getting into that video. I kind of like the music. I like the groove. I like all the different baits. That Crazy Ace is just, that thing's crazy. I hadn't seen that bait before. When I get to see you around, Phil, I don't know that I've personally actually picked that bait up and seen it before.
Yeah, it's too bad when they did the video, the guys that did it actually, I don't think fished much. So if you twitch it, it actually jumps right and left, and Billy's pretty good at making it walk the dog. And they just kind of pulled it straight. So that's the one part of the video that doesn't really do that bait justice.
Yeah, it just looks like it's got, crazy action. So
that's why we call it Crazy Ace.
Yeah. And but you've got so many different baits. I'm sitting here looking at your website, and there's just a ton of different stuff that you've got. And just give me a little bit of history how you got started with all this.
Well, I was a paramedic, and I was getting burned out on that, working on the street, and I was painting baits for some of Billy's buddies and stuff, just doing repaints, and I bought me a blast cabinet. And Billy one day decided that we ought to try to make us a balsa bait.
Oh, so it's my fault.
So, and Rick Schreiber is a good friend of ours that builds the laser lures in Cincinnati for years and years, and Rick kind of helped us, showed us what to do, and it just started off as a hobby playing around because we wanted something no one else around here had. And I never ever intended to ever sell a bait or anything like that when it started. It was just to have fun, because I worked 2 shifts on, 2 days off, or 1 shift on. So I worked 24s and 48s off. So I had 2 days of free time every shift, and it just took off. It just was an accident. It just happened.
Yeah. And what a better place to do it than up there where you live. You know, we had a conversation the other day. When we were talking about this show, you were actually on the Ohio River. Tanner's Creek, I think, is where you were at. And anybody who's ever fished the Ohio River, and Billy, that's where, you know, that's one of the reasons why you're so good at what you do, is because of the Ohio River. If you can figure out how to catch fish on that place, you can catch them anywhere. I don't care where you go.
Well, I didn't. I sucked it all up. So
you did catch one, which
I caught one, but that's pretty embarrassing. I wanted to just throw it back and go.
You know, the Ohio River is an extremely tough place. We all know that. And I truly don't think guys realize how many balsa, you know, builders there are in our region. You know, Ohio, Indiana, Kentucky, Tennessee, North Carolina, South Carolina. I think that's kind of where all this originated. You know what I mean? And to grow up on a tough fishery and to be able to grow up throwing balsa, you just felt like you had something that nobody else had. And you felt like if you weren't using it, especially around here, that you wasn't going to be able to catch any fish. You know, so the whole balsa thing has always intrigued me. And I think it's definitely a deal that needs to be passed down from generation to generation.
Yeah. Yeah. And we're both fans. I mean, me particularly, I'm a fan of everybody who builds balsa baits. I mean, I see sometimes, like on some of these sites, these guys that build baits will have these little squabbles, and I'm thinking, man, there's enough of it to go around. We're all in it together. So it doesn't matter to me if I was throwing a wee bait or a laser lure, or, I mean, I don't just carry my baits. Naturally, I want as many people as I can to buy my baits because that's how I help feed my family. But I'm a fan of everybody, and I have the utmost respect for everybody who builds a balsa bait, whether they build 50 in their garage or they're turning out 5,000 a year or whatever. I think there's something pretty special about all the balsa guys.
Yeah, and that's kind of why I was bringing that up, because, you know, the balsa has, you know, really special qualities that, you know, will trigger fish when especially really hard to catch fish. And it's just one of those things where, you know, it's a material and, you know, you're making the right baits. And I know you make a ton of them here that, you know, virtually every situation that you've got a bait for. And I'm just scrolling through your page here, and there's just crankbait after crankbait. And one of the things, and we'll talk about this towards the end of the show too, is all the different topwaters and stuff that you make. Because it's getting right. It's almost here, you know, on Douglas Lake. Our water came way up. It was starting to get really good about 2 weeks ago. And we had back-to-back, you know, tropical storms that came up here, and the lake went up about 8 foot in the last 2 weeks. So as soon as it stabilizes, that topwater bite's going to start to get good again. Yeah. So we'll talk a little bit about that at the end.
Yeah. Yeah. I look at it like they're all just tools. You can't work on your car with one little toolbox. So, and I have so much correspondence with people daily, whether they're texting me, and I get texts from somebody who says, "Hey, can you do this? Can you do that?" And I'm like, "Who is this?" You know what I mean? They guys will forget to tell me who they are. But I talk to so many people, and they'll say, "Hey, we used to use this bait in my area, and whoever built it has not been around for 20 years. Can you do something like this?" And guys will even send me samples. And, you know, I would never intentionally copy anything that if a guy's building it currently. But there's just so many good baits from the past that if we don't continue to build those baits, they're gone forever.
Yeah. What was the first bait that you made?
The hunting pea, wasn't it?
Yeah.
The hunting pea. And if you'll notice, I got one laying right here. Let's see, everything's backwards from our angle. But my original square bills, we didn't have any way hardly to carve them around, to be honest. We were doing it with a file, a fingernail file. And if you look from the back, it's kind of almost like a hybrid fat and a flat bait together. The sides are flat. And Billy and I wanted something different. We kind of wanted the fat bait, you know, vibration and come through wood good and everything like they do. But we wanted the flash of a flat bait. And to be honest, it was just much easier to build them with flat sides than it was with the round stuff. Yeah. And the hunting pea and the little hunter is, I don't think we have one here, but it's similar, just a smaller version. And those are still probably my 2 best selling crankbaits. They're like little bulldozers. You can throw them and they come through the wood. And, you know, I was sewing a plastic 1.5 because, believe it or not, I throw those too. I've got a box in the boat. And I was sewing one this past weekend and I kept getting hung up on the stumps that I couldn't see. And I finally took it off, and I actually have a balsa version of a 1.5. It looks exactly like a 1.5. And once I tied it on, I don't think I got hung up the rest of the day. It just bounces off the stumps and keeps right on coming. So
cool. And you know, when you're fishing a square bill, you got to be bumping something to catch them. So
to catch them, yeah.
Well, I think a lot of guys don't realize that the buoyancy of balsa is what helps it deflect off the cover. You know, that's the 1.5 that he was just talking about. But balsa has such buoyancy that when you quit winding that bait, it wants to float up to the surface really fast. So if you get it wedged behind a stump or a lay down and you kill it, it actually wants to float back up to the surface. That's what makes them so you can bang them through that cover without getting hung up. And I think a lot of guys don't realize that. You know, when they say like, well, I can get by a 1.5 for $5, and why do I want to pay $25 for a balsa one? Well, once again, it's a tool for the job. And when you can throw this up there where the birds can't even walk around and you can wind it back to you without getting hung up, there's something to be said about that.
awesome. And Billy, by the way, you know, hadn't talked to you since then, but congratulations on Pickwick. That is, you know, I watched, I love that place, and I haven't fished it when the water was quite that high, but I had a situation there the last time I fished when the water came up to about 415, and I got on some flipping fish and some bull rush and stuff like that, and I was all excited. I was super excited. I pulled in this one place, and it was like a little backwater pond, and it was full of bull rush. I pulled in there and made 3 flips and had 3 that were 4 to 5 pounds come out on every bush. And I got so excited, and I went there the first day, and everything looked different. I couldn't figure out why. It's because the water dropped about 6 foot overnight, and of course couldn't get to any of them fish. But I could relate a little bit to, you know, that high water situation, and it was so much fun watching you catch those fish on one of the, you know, things that you like to do the best besides throwing a crankbait. That's
right. Well, you know, it was awesome that played out the way it did. You know what I mean? I always told Jennifer that I never wanted to win my first event on a drop shot or something. Not that I would have complained if that would have happened, but to be able to fish my style with a big rod and a jig, and all the stars lined up the way they did, you know, and that, like you said, when we started practicing that event, it was like 4 or 5 foot below winter pool. I'm thinking 3 foot maybe. It was down as low as I'd ever seen it. There's things in Pickwick that I never even knew were there until that week. And then when it came up 6 foot over pool, it was like starting all over again. And, you know, I hate to always say that fishing on the Ohio rivers helped me out. It's just like I feel like I'm beating a dead horse, but truly, I was raised fishing those conditions of flooded, blowout, get high, water dropping. I mean, so to me, it was just kind of another day, and you just had to figure out where those fish relocated. And I was very fortunate and very blessed that the very first day of the tournament, once I knew what had happened and I knew my area was trashed, very first tree I pulled up to, I pitched in there and I missed the fish that bit. The second tree I pitched into, I caught a 4-pounder, and it was like every tree after that I caught a 4-pounder. So it was just one of those deals where I made the right calls, and like I said, I was just truly blessed that everything worked out that week.
Yeah, that's awesome. It's always great to win something, especially on a way that you like to fish, and something that you're really, you know, familiar with, that you can relate to. So,
well, you know,
awesome.
I'm typically not the guy that gets that big fish bite at the last minute. You know what I mean? That's just, where I grew up, you just didn't catch a lot of big fish. You know what I mean? A 2-pounder was a big one.
Yeah.
So for me to catch that 8-pounder on the last day, you couldn't have rode it any better. It just, like I said, it was just one of those weeks where I was blessed and everything worked out perfectly.
Awesome. We're going to take a really, really short break. We got another clip. Hey, Phil. So this next clip is from our friends out there at Tackle Warehouse, and it's a bait that you've designed for them, especially for them. You can only get it at Tackle Warehouse. It's a really quick how to rig it up. And this is going to be something that, you know, when topwater season really gets, probably in another month here in East Tennessee,
Right.
But that front runner,
Yeah, it caught me off guard.
yeah, it certainly
The
did.
demand for it. I mean, just caught me off guard. I sent them
Yeah.
1,200 today, and I'll send them another 1,200 next week. I mean, and that's, I'm not exaggerating on those numbers. And I'm just shocked that, because it wasn't something that I was interested in, or you really, right? And they kept after me and after me to build one, since Norman, doesn't build the one anymore. And they're like, hey, we need one out of wood that's a little more buoyant. And I just kept kind of blowing them off for a while. And I finally, to be honest, thought, well, I do so good with Tackle Warehouse that maybe I better make them happy. So we made it. And then now I don't have time to make anything for front runners. kind of be careful what you wish for.
Yeah, you're probably seeing them in your sleep. We're going to see it right now. I'm excited. I've watched this thing several times now. I can't wait to get my hands on some of them. But we're going to take a real short break, check out this new front, and we'll be right back. Mike Dovisco, Bill Lowen, Phil Hunt, Outdoor Showcase.
What's going on, Tackle Warehouse fans? Jake here, bringing another how-to video. So today we're going to show you how to rig up a front runner. So a front runner is a really cool accessory you can add to your topwater presentation, specifically to walking baits, and it's just going to give you a totally unique look that is often overlooked by lots of other anglers out there, and something that the fish don't see all the time. So once you rig this up properly, you're going to have 2 baits in the water. You get a totally unique look, and it just triggers ferocious strikes. And then also when fish are schooling, you have the chance to hook multiple fish at one time. So it's a really cool rig. Definitely going to want to try this out next time you're out topwater fishing. So what you need for this is your favorite topwater setup with a 30 to 50 pound braided main line. You need a front runner. This one's actually made by PH Customs. He's custom making these specifically for Tackle Warehouse. You can only get these at TW. Then you need your favorite walking bait, and then you're going to need some 20 to 30 pound mono leader. All right, the first step in this process is going to be tying your front runner on with your 30 to 50 pound braided main line. Now you can use whatever knot you'd like on this. Just use the knot you have the most confidence in. I'm tying a quick Palomar knot. If you guys want more information on maybe how to tie a Palomar or other knots, we have a bunch of knot videos in our learning center at tacklewarehouse.com, so you can head over there, learn all kinds of different knots. So once you got that tied on, just trim your tag end. All right, the next step is going to be adding your mono leader. So you want to get yourself a nice section of 20 to 30 pound mono leader, and you're going to tie this on to the back of the front runner. It's got that eyelet on there, so you can put your leader on there. Now on this one, I'm just going to do a quick clinch. Now you want to use 20 to 30 pound because you want to have enough strength just in case you do hook 2 fish at one time. If you try to go lighter than 20 pound and you hook 2 fish at one time, you're going to have a much higher chance of breaking off. So you want to have that heavier line so that you have some shock absorbency. And you want to leave yourself enough room on there to where you have about 10 or 20 inches to rig up your walking bait. So I'm going to trim this down just a little bit. And now the last step is going to be tying on your favorite walking bait. Now I'm going to use a head and 1-knocker spook on this. I like the 1-knocker because it has 2 hooks on it. And the reason why you need 2 hooks, especially out here in California, you can only have 3 hooks on one lure at a time. So make sure you guys go in and check your state's fish and game regulations. If you have, if you're in a state that has a hook restriction, make sure you don't have a topwater that's got 3 hooks on it, and then maybe, with the addition of the front runner, then you have 4 hooks, and you're going to be, you're going to get a violation. We all know those fish and game fines are not cheap. So once you get that tied on, pull your line tight, and then just trim your tag in. All right, and there you have it. You got a fully rigged front runner rig. Like I said, this is a really cool rig to throw, especially when topwater season's hot. You just get a really unique presentation that people aren't taking the time to rig up. And then when those fish are schooling, especially late summer and in the fall, you have the chance of hooking multiple fish at one time. One last tip I'm going to give, if you're a big fan of the polymer knot and you want to tie Palomars on all 3 of the connection knots, you want to start with at the back of the front runner, then you want to tie on the front runner to the main line, and then do your walking bait last, and you can have 3 Palomar knots and have a really, really strong system. Thanks for tuning into this how-to video. If you guys learned something here today, make sure to give us a like. If you want to see more videos like this, make sure to head over to the Learning Center at tacklewarehouse.com, and make sure to put a comment down below on other videos or other techniques you want us to film in the future.
Catch the best in outdoor products every month on the Outdoor Showcase. Hosts Sheila Bunch and Mike Del Visco bring you new, unique, and awesome products for the outdoors, featuring guests and segments. Whether you fish, boat, camp, or just love the outdoors, there's always something for everyone. We are live the last Thursday of every month on the Pride Outdoor Network, available on Fire TV and Roku. For more info or to have your products showcased, visit theoutdoorshowcase.com. We'll see you in the great outdoors.
Hey, we're back. We're back. Mike Del Visco Outdoor Showcase. That is really cool. I can't wait to fish one of those things and see what I've got. Some tournaments coming up here in the fall that are probably going to be water events, and I can tell you I want to have one of those in my hand when I'm throwing it.
Yeah, I got an idea for another one too. I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag yet, but it's going to be different too. There's not really anything out there like it.
Cool.
I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna ride this one out as long as I can, and where people lose interest after everybody's bought all the front runners. I got another idea.
Well, you know what I just noticed, and I haven't had the opportunity to throw that bait yet. You know, on the Elite Series, we're not allowed to use basically 2 baits on one line. So I haven't had the opportunity to throw that. But what I noticed about that video compared to the old front runner is that thing tends to lay on its side and do a lot of flashing and darting. And it's the perfect size for what our bait fish are going to be in the fall, you know what I mean? Because it's a new hatch of the year. But to get that flash and to see that, man, to me, just resembles a dying bait fish. And I don't see how it's not going to be absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
Could you imagine throwing that at Hartwell or Murray?
Well, yeah, actually, I've got a championship event in mid-October on Murray, and that's exactly what I was thinking about for that thing. And I've got a tournament in Norman in about 2 weeks, so I might see if I can get a hold of Tackle Warehouse and get them to ship me some, because you said you're building a few of them, right?
Yeah. Oh yeah. I sent them 1,260 today, I think, and I think there were like 400 and some of the silver foiled ones in there. So anybody that wants the silver foiled, I know they told me they had like 400 or 500 back ordered. So if you want any silver foiled, I would get on there and get them back ordered. That way they'll ship, like early next week. While we're on the topwater subject, that same thing with Murray. This is something I think that you'd be interested in, and I'm gonna give it to Bill and let him talk to you, because this is something that's totally unique too.
Well, we're talking topwaters right now, but being raised where I'm at or we're at, we always want something that's different, and that's pretty much what we did here. This is a bait we call a rip shad. And as you can see, it's just a long, looks like a basic topwater, but on the back, it's got 2 prop baits. Okay. And what that does when you're ripping it, it gives you that spray and that splash.
They're counter rotating.
Yeah, they're counter rotating, so you don't have to worry about them throwing the bait off balance. But you can really scoop this bait really fast. Like in the fall, when you see all them bait fish that are running really fast, that's kind of what we wanted to imitate with this. But we got a lot of guys right now that are catching them actually, kind of just ripping it or twitching it like a traditional twitch bait. But once again, it's a bait fish profile bait. That's a topwater bait. And we're always just looking for that secret, something different, special. And that's exactly what you get with this here. It's got a lot of different actions that your traditional topwaters don't have.
And believe it or not, it makes about as much noise as an 1/8 ounce buzzer, doesn't it?
Yeah, probably like an 1/8 ounce buzz bait.
Yeah, clear, calm water, it's really deadly. There's some guys fishing Geist Lake in Indy that don't want anybody to know about it.
Oh, well, now they know.
And now they know, because I'm going to let the cat out of the bag. And they're twitching it over holes in the grass in that real clear water.
Yeah.
And when Billy and I did that, we never thought about, we weren't building it to twitch, were we? He wanted something
to work really, really fast
for the herring lakes. And it works really good on the herring lakes when it's slick out.
Awesome. And you do make a walking style bait too, right, Bill?
Yeah, I make one. I make a pencil P, which is 6 inches, and I'm getting ready to do a 5-inch version of that, just because so many people said they'd like to have a smaller one.
Right.
And it walks real wide, doesn't move forward much. I mean, a kid can walk the dog with any of those. And then we've got the walking P, which is it's a balsa dog walker. And like I said, they're just so easy. They're silent, they don't have the rattles in them like a lot of the other things, a lot of the other dog walkers. But that's not always a bad thing either, you know. And then of course we got your favorite, wherever it is here.
Yeah.
I'll tell you.
He's having trouble.
About that in a minute.
He
Oh,
can shoot a rifle
awesome.
at 1,000 yards, but he can't put a little lure up in the camera string.
It's all backwards. So then we got the plopper, which Strader won a bunch of stuff on the plopper, a bunch of the MLS stuff the first year, and it just took off. And the thing with it is it's got the flash, and then we put a rivet on there, crimp the rivet, and the blade slides up against that rivet, and it starts to squeak like a buzzer once you throw it a little bit. You'll hear that little squeak, squeak, squeak when you're bringing it in. So
yeah.
Once again, like he said, when they're pressured, it's just something different to throw. And we've got 2 sizes in it. I mean, we make one that's much bigger too, which I think you throw. So
I think that's the whole key with balsa to me, is that when fish are highly pressured, it doesn't matter if you're cranking or top water and whatever, balsa has that silent, natural action that when fish are highly pressured, you just get more bites with it, I feel.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's something else too. Everybody talks this time of year. All you hear about are the square bills and the fat baits, and I throw them too. They're great for coming through wood. But this is Lowen's dollar bill. I actually got that right the first time.
Perfect.
Look at there. It's flat. I'm going to tell you, these flat baits, if you live where we live, like the wee baits and the laser lures, those are known for their flat models. And here's another one, a flat P, and this actually comes through wood. Really, really good for a flat bait. That's what we wanted, was something that we could wind through treetops. But around here, if you're not throwing a flat bait in the summer months, if you don't have one tied on, you're missing the boat, because these flat baits are not just for cold water.
Yeah.
It just shows them something different again when everybody else is throwing a fat bait.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely that. So I'm looking here at the walking P. Because one of the things that I'm thinking of, when you put depending upon what tournament you fish, when you put a front runner on there, you can only have 2 hooks on your back bait.
Right.
So that your walking P has 2 sets of hooks on it. So perfect, legal for BFL events and stuff like that.
Right. And we got another one in the old school line called the W Dog, and it's more of a banana shaped dog walker. Yeah. And what, as you walk in, it walks really easy too, but because it's so banana shaped, it's curved, it actually kind of hops up and down as you walk it. And once again, it's a silent bait, but even those silent baits make a lot of water, because I've got an in-ground pool, and I get in there and have people wind baits by my head all the time. I mean, I know exactly what they sound like. And even if a crankbait, like a balsa bait, like mine, have no rattles, you can hear them coming a long way before they get to you. You can really hear the hooks rattle. It's just a different kind of noise.
Yeah. Cool.
And spinnerbaits whistle. I know what they sound like too.
Yeah. So if you had, and I know I get this question a lot, if you had one bait to throw, what would it be? And it's so hard to pick like one thing, but day in, day out, I'm going to break it up. One crankbait, one topwater. What would it be?
You first.
All right, I'll go first with that. If I had one crankbait to fish for the rest of my life, it would definitely be a flat bait for sure. And with that being said, is the reason I would choose a flat bait is because they work all through every time of the year, whether it's spring, winter, summer, fall. Whereas if you were using a square bill in the wintertime or something like that, you may not get a bite. But a flat-sided bait, all 4 times of the year, like I said, winter, spring, summer, fall, this bait will get you bites. And if I had to choose one crankbait, I think that's what it would be. Definitely be a flat-sided bait, whether it's plastic or balsa, but definitely a flat-sided bait. And then if I had to choose one top water, definitely going to be some style of a walking bait, because I feel like that would work throughout the whole seasons, whether they're schooling or on the beds, or you're trying to fish isolated targets or holes in the grass bed. I think a walking bait would definitely be my choices. So a flat bait and a crankbait, and a walking style bait and a top water.
Yeah, mine would be a flat bait also, but I would differ in the top water. I'm a huge fan of float and jerk baits, and I make a bait called a slash P, which is a lot like the old Bangalores, and I make it with a prop on the back and without. So I would pick the slash P. It's about 5 inches with no prop on the back, because on those sunny days, like early in the year when the water is 50 degrees and they come up when it's slick and calm, you can wind it real slow like a wake bait. You can run down to Florida in January and February, twitch it around the grass and stuff and catch them on it. And then I feel like you can just about catch them on a float and jerk bait somewhere if you fish the clean part of the lake all summer long. There's always. So that's where I would differ.
I don't think he knows what he's talking about.
I'm a jerk bait freak, but I like the floaters. I just like watching them come up and eat them.
Yeah.
That's why we got boxes with hundreds of baits in them.
That's right. I think for me,
he's spot on with the flat bait, though. No doubt about it.
I thought you were going to say buzz bait, Phil. It's like I don't think I ever go fishing without having a buzz bait tied on, even if they don't eat it. And I don't know what it is. If it's just here where I live in Tennessee, but usually they bite a buzz bait really good on Douglas. I mean, it's like I'll fish one all throughout the year, and they're not eating it this year real good. I'm catching more on a walking bait, actually a bluegill color walking bait.
Ain't that crazy how they are sometimes?
The last 2 months probably, and even in the spring, we had the open here. I caught everyone I weighed in on a walking bait, and I don't know. It's just strange. They're eating different, kind of top waters. But one of my favorites. And actually, my now used to be girlfriend, but now my fiance, Brandy, her favorite bait is that plop and pea. I tried to get her to throw a buzz bait around a little bit when they're eating it real good, and it's hard to get used to throwing it out there, getting it working right away because you get a lot of bites. So I tied one of those on for her one day, and she just loves that thing. She can put it on a bait cast rod and throw it halfway across the lake and just sit there and blah, 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 blah. And the thing, and it just catches them. They come up and they eat it. And it's a whole lot of fun. She loves just winding them in. That's a really, really cool bait. You said you've got two different sizes of that bait too.
Yeah. I actually make a smaller one. And to be honest, the smaller one is a little louder. They have the same size prop, but I think where the body is slimmer on the smaller model, it doesn't rob so much water from the blade.
Yeah.
So you can burn it. It doesn't roll or anything like that, but it actually plops and makes a little more noise.
Yeah. That's the wounded pea, is that right?
Like a rocket, because the weight of that blade in the tail, it's just like a weight transfer system. So they go tail first. They don't tumble. You can really get them out there.
Yeah. That's the wounded pea.
No, the plop and pea.
Plop and pea. What's the smaller one called?
Oh, I do have a wounded plopper. I'd forgotten about it, and it's actually it lays on its side like this.
Yeah,
the hook comes out the side of the bait. And the thing with it is if anybody buys a wounded plopper, you got to wind it a little slower because it's just the way the bait is shaped. Laying on its side. It's about impossible to get enough weight in there to keep the bait from rolling. So you can wind it slow. It tracks good. It'll plop, 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 but just don't burn it. The other one, I've got a plop and pea, and then I've got the plop and pea junior is the one I said makes a little more noise.
Yeah.
I think it's a 2.5 inch body. The other one is a 3 inch body.
So I thought we had 3 sizes.
Yeah. Well, we do this one, but I haven't sold this one yet. So you're kind of getting a sneak peek at the tiny plopper. So, Billy's got some, obviously.
That's how all them balsa builder guys are. They always show you something that you can't have.
Yeah.
Hey, and walking around his porch. Hey, take a look at this. Where can you get them? Oh, you can't yet.
You can't yet.
Yeah.
Only my buddies got them.
Yeah.
We got so much stuff that we've played with over the years, and like I actually have a deep bait that goes 20 feet. The problem is it throws good, but if I build 10 baits. And I've got a weight system with ropes and a bar where I can actually tell exactly how deep I'm bouncing the bait. The problem is if I build 10, 5 of them will hit the bar at 20 feet. The other 5 won't. So I've never really I haven't. When I get more time someday, I'm going to play with it and come out with it maybe. Because I don't know that Brian's Bees might have he has a B24 or
I don't know.
18
I can't keep up with it all.
Yeah, he has some really nice deep baits, by the way. And then I built a 16-footer and a 12-footer, and anybody can get the 16-footer to 16. If you can throw halfway decent with 10 or 12-pound 4-carbon, it'll go 16. And a guy that can throw it really far can get it to 18, but we called it to 16, and that way people wouldn't be calling me and saying, how's come mine don't go 16? And they throw real good. They got weight in the tail. Everybody told me, oh, you can't build a balsa bait and put weight in the tail. You'll kill the action. Well, we've got a 12-footer, a 16-footer that both have a couple grams of weight in the tail, and it helps keep them from, how some of them want a cartwheel when you cast them, the big baits, and it helps with that, and it doesn't kill the action at all. I mean, and they eat it good. Paul Mueller throws the 16-footer a lot. I know of all the baits he gets from me, he gets more 16-footers than anything. And I hope it was all right to say that. Mention.
He's gonna be mad. You just let his secret
let
out.
his secret out. Yeah.
So we got another break coming up, and then we're going to come back and finish the show. I can't believe it's gone by this fast. We still got a little more time, and we got this next clip is actually with the plop and pea. I had to throw Strader in there just for a little bit, let him talk about that thing.
That's good. Wesley's a great guy. I love him to death.
He is. He's such a good guy. So we're going to take a real short break, come back with Phil and Bill and myself, and I think we're even going to grab Sheila and throw her on camera too, and we'll finish up the show. We'll be right back. Mike Delvisco, Outdoor Showcase.
Hey folks, Wesley Strader here at the 2017 ICAST, and I'm here at the PH Custom Lures booth. I want to talk to you a little bit about a new bait called the Plop and Pea. It's actually Wesley's Plop and Pea, and the great thing about this plop and bait is the tail on the back of it. You can actually bend this tail to either make it plop hard or plop less. Like you can bend it forward, it'll plop more, less resistance when you bend it back, so it plops less. It also has a unique squealing sound like a buzzbait. You even take a small file or something and file the wire. If you want to squeal a little bit harder, you can do that. But I mean, just an exceptionally good bait. It's really hot right now. I've caught a lot of fish on this, been catching a lot of big fish on it. One of the other things I like about this bait is it's American made. It's made of 100% balsa wood. It's not that great big profile like on other plopping baits, but it's a smaller profile. It's not too small, it's not too big. Plus, you can actually stop this bait, and actually it sits horizontal in the water. It doesn't set tail down, it'll go horizontal. You can actually stop it and start twitching it like a prop bait. It's got so many different applications. You can wind it, stop it, start it back up, twitch it like I said, like a prop bait. It's an excellent bait. Like I said, made in America. It comes in golden brim, black, bone, lime gill, and sexy shad. Those are the 5 colors that's offered in it right now, and these are available at Tackle Warehouse. If they're not, they're probably out of stock, so you better go ahead and get your order in so you can get some more of them.
If you want to learn how to read your sonar graphs better, well, you're going to want to check this out.
During the last 3 decades, I've taught countless people how to read and understand their sonar graphs, and now I'm bringing that experience to you with a brand new Understanding Sonar program. This easy-to-follow program shows you how sonar works and how to incorporate all the different things our sonar units can do to help you locate and catch more fish. I go through all aspects, including 2D sonar, down scan, side scan, GPS and mapping, and putting it all together out on the water. Understanding Sonar is available by direct download, or if you prefer, a hard copy DVD. Either way, you get the same great information. So if you don't get sonar, then visit get-sonar.com and you'll be on your way to understanding what you're seeing and start catching more fish.
All right, we're back. Hey, I didn't know Wesley could read that good. Nice stuff. That was from back 2017 with him.
Yeah.
And that day was really, really hot. And hey, Billy, you teased me at the beginning of the show. I don't even know if we were on camera, but
we seen what you were doing.
I seen you crunching the bag. I said, he's back there eating peanuts.
Yeah, there's the one right there. And I guess it's UT's first game. Somebody told me it was UT was on tonight or something like that. I don't really follow them too much, but that's a UT bag of Roadhouse peanuts right there.
Yeah. You've been with him a long time, haven't you?
Yeah, quite a while. So let's bring Sheila back in here. And hey, Sheila. So you had a question at the beginning of the show for everybody too, and I saw a few people chimed in on the comments and answered. And
well, this was sort of towards Bill, and it was what would ruin a fishing trip in less than 4 words. Come on, Bill. I looked at your Facebook profile. What did you post a couple months ago?
You must be talking about the banana that I caught.
Yes!
But, I was going to say that I don't think you could ruin a fishing trip, but that was out in the middle of Lake Ontario, okay?
Okay.
And literally I made a cast out there, and I feel a little resistance on my rod. So I start winding in, and I'm like, what the heck do I got? And it was a legit catch of somebody's banana peel that they threw in the boat or threw out in the water, right?
I mean, seriously, how many people do that?
So probably not very many. So
no, you're the only one I know.
It was my wife's birthday, and all she wanted to do was catch a smallmouth for her birthday, right?
Uh-huh.
So we were at Lake Ontario for like 10 days, and out of every day that we had out there, the day that I caught the banana was the worst day.
Okay, and then right after you caught the banana, what did you catch?
About an hour later, we were running across the lake, and we come up on a balloon that said happy birthday on it. So we pulled over and got the happy birthday balloon. She doesn't know this yet, but I put that out there like 3 or 4 days earlier, and we just happened to find it on her birthday.
Okay, so you actually did. Okay, so did you purchase the balloon or no, you did not? You did not. Okay, so you actually, okay, I got this. I know how this stuff works.
No,
that was pretty good.
It was just total luck that we found the birthday balloon floating out there. And then about 3 hours later, we were out there and a black balloon come floating by. And I said, look, we are not messing with the black balloon. Not at all. Yeah.
So that it ended right then, right?
It did, absolutely.
Okay, did she catch the fish she wanted?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Okay, good.
I don't know if it was that day because I heard a couple times that her guide was going to get fired.
Okay.
But every day after that was pretty good.
And I guess it was on that. Yeah. Okay, that lure right there. Okay.
No.
Yeah, that one right there. Yeah, flat feet.
See, well, no, I would think that the worst day of fishing would be when your trolling motor broke down, or your boat started sinking, or I mean, I've had to rescue a couple guys out here by jet skis or something else that flew out of their boats over the years. Yeah. So I think those would be the worst. Banana, but I never have understood the banana thing. Yeah, what's the bad luck?
I eat them in the boat all the time.
Yeah, I don't believe in the banana thing, not one bit.
You don't? Seriously?
Nope. And it's always funny. We always talk about, oh my gosh, don't put a banana in the boat. And if my memory serves me correct, I believe the whole banana thing started back years and years ago when they were shipping bananas across the ocean or wherever they would ship bananas to, and there was a spider or something that lived in the bananas that people would get bit by and die. So that, I think, if I'm not, like I said, if I'm not mistaken, that's where the whole bananas in a boat come to be in bad luck.
Hey, Mike, I like this show because we get a history lesson too.
Well, I don't know if that was a right history lesson, but that's what I've always been told.
Well, I like that. I'll stick with that one. I'll stick with that one.
More balance than just catching a fish, folks.
That's right. We got a history major also.
I thought maybe you were going to say you caught that
weekend.
Yeah, I thought maybe you were going to say you caught that banana in the Ohio River because I've caught some pretty I caught a pair of draws in the Ohio River one time.
Yeah. No, I was pretty shocked when that come up. And I'm like you. It's like, what's the chances of that happening?
I know that was pretty. But you know, I went on a fishing trip a couple of years ago, and one of the guide that I went with, he did tell me that I could not bring no bananas.
Yep.
He did. I mean, that was one of his rules. I had to,
especially saltwater guys are really superstitious.
Yeah, offshore guys.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was doing. That was what I was doing. I was doing saltwater, and he told me I could not bring a banana.
Yeah. You know, I typically have a banana in the boat every morning, but maybe I ought to reconsider that.
Well, yeah, you should.
Hey, Miss Sheila, I'm going to come down and do your show this winter, and it would be I bet you all them people in Knoxville would love to see Billy down there.
Oh, I'd love to have Billy down there.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to put you on the spot.
Hey, no, that would be great.
If he came,
I mean, no, seriously, it's not your typical boring show. I mean, I'm not going to brag. Don't take it that way, but it is a really good fishing show. It is a really, really, really good fishing show.
Yeah.
And everybody,
I was impressed.
Well, you can ask Wesley. He always wants to come.
Well, every Tennessee show that I've ever been to seems like it's really, really good.
Hey, this one is, I mean, it's good. And I'm trying my best to make sure, you know, last year we didn't get to have it because of COVID. But I'm hoping that this year, and you know, the thing about it is they're already wanting to buy tickets. Mm-hmm. I've already showed my books. We've got filled up. Everybody's so excited. And I mean, it's going to be good. I mean, it's going to be good. And we're going to make a lot, like I told at the first of the show before you guys got on, we're going to make a lot of fishermen happy this year.
Yeah,
and that's
people are going to be happy to get out.
Yes, and they are going to, last year they missed because at this show, what happens, you've got so many things that you can purchase that you cannot purchase anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And they look forward to it every year. We've got people that come from 10 different states over 10 different states that come to this show. And last year was a big disappointment for a lot of people. And so this year we're going to really make it good so that we got a lot of happy fishermen out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need to get Lord willing, there's going to be a big PH Custom Lure banner over one of the booths this winter. So,
yeah. So we got to get you signed up. We got to get you signed up. We got to get you on the seminar schedule. Mike, we got to get to work.
I know. We had Bernie Schultz on a couple weeks ago, and I've known Bertie for 40 years, and he's the other one we need to get into. I think he'd be great. Billy'd be great. Billy's great everywhere he goes. He's just a really class A guy and wealth of knowledge when it comes to fishing, and you know, people like to talk to him. So
I just like to try to put myself in as many as places as I can, whether that's tackle shows, sport shows, standing at the boat ramp. You know, I've been very blessed in my career to be able to do what I do, and you know, for a living. And I always feel like if we don't pass on our knowledge to the next generation, then we're going to lose it. We're not going to have it.
I agree with you 100% on that one.
Anytime that I feel like I can pass that on, I try to take full advantage of it. You know, and you might not even know this, but a little thing that I do on the Elite Series is every time that I make a third day cut, I pick a couple kids out of the crowd and give them a Bassmaster membership. You know, kind of just because when I was little, all I wanted to do was read Bassmaster magazine and fish the Bassmaster Classic and be like Denny Brower someday. And Bassmaster magazine truly helped me do that. I mean, that reading it as a kid. So I just once again just pass it on. You know, anytime you get a chance to pass it on. I mean, because honestly, if my dad and my uncles and just friends, if they wouldn't have took time out of their schedules when I was a little kid and taught me, and I know every one of us are the same way, Mike, Phil. If somebody wouldn't have taught us, you know, hunting or fishing or whatever, you and I would not be sitting here talking today. You know.
And I can't believe this hour went through that quick. They're going to pull the on us and throw us out of here.
Trying to cut us off.
Yeah.
I know he's always cutting me off.
It's 7 o'clock. Of course, it's live and it's on TV. We're on the Pride Outdoor Network too, so they're going to pull the plug on us here. But Phil, we never even got the website out. So real quick, it's PH Custom Lures, correct?
Yeah, phcustomlures.com. And when you get on there, I build the old school models too. So you'll see the different icon or the different logos. You can, if you want to check out the old school, you hit the old school logo. If you want to do the PH, you hit the PH. And then
we need those saltwater too in the show.
Yeah. And you know what? I don't really even push that at all. And I don't know why, because saltwater is such a huge industry. There's so many people
we need that this year.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So I'm looking forward to this winter, actually being a vendor instead of a visitor.
That's great.
Can't wait to have you down there. That is fun.
Billy will hang out in the booth when he's not on the tank, Yeah, he's going to hang out in the booth and visit with people, sign autographs, and he'll sign baits.
I'll be around shopping.
Hey, and dinner afterwards.
And
dinner Texas afterwards. Roadhouse, right?
Yeah.
On Mike.
Yep. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
All right.
Have a good night.
Sheila, we literally got like 20 seconds here, but we're going to have to go. Here's what we'll probably do. Let's try to go live like the middle of this month just for a couple of quick minutes, and we'll give you guys a preview of what's coming up September 30th.
That sounds great, Mike.
We'll keep.
And I got an idea to throw at you later on, okay?
Okay, that's fine. Right now, we got to go, or else they're going to pull the plug. I'm Mike Del Visco, Sheila Bunch, Phil Hunt, Bill Lowen. What an awesome show tonight.
Yes.
Signing off, Outdoor Showcase.
See you guys.